Have you ever worked hard your entire life, yet still struggled to get ahead? You earn a decent paycheck, but by the end of the month, the money is gone. You watch others build a comfortable life while you're stuck in the same exhausting cycle. If wealth feels impossible despite your effort, this story is for you. The year was 1955, in the beating heart of Detroit, Michigan. It was the golden age of American industry, when the streets hummed with the promise of the American dream. In an oil-stained garage on the edge of town worked a young mechanic named Arthur. He was a master of his craft, calloused hands, sharp mind, rare, steady talent for making broken things whole. Every day he spent hours under heavy hoods, coaxing engines to purr perfectly. But despite his talent and long hours, Arthur had nothing to his name. Week after week, month after month, he labored under flickering fluorescent lights. He received his wages every Friday like the other men. Yet when he sat at his small kitchen table and tried to understand where his hard-earned dollars went, he couldn't explain it. Rent for his drafty apartment, groceries, new work boots, maybe a cold beer at the diner. Somehow, it all vanished. His friends on the assembly line lived the same reality. They worked their fingers to the bone, yet stayed in cramped rooms, wearing worn-out clothes. When they watched wealthy factory owners drive past in pristine luxury cars they themselves had built, a quiet resentment settled over them. Why did fortune favor them and ignore us? One rainy Tuesday evening, after staring at his empty wallet, a realization awakened in Arthur. He refused to accept this endless struggle as his fate. If wealth could be built, there had to be laws governing it, and if there were laws, they could be learned. Opportunity arrived days later. Mr. Sterling, a stern and wildly successful industrialist who owned several dealerships, walked into the garage. He needed a complex custom engine rebuilt by Sunrise for an important exhibition. He offered Arthur a generous overtime bonus if he could do the impossible. Arthur wiped the grease from his hands, looked the millionaire in the eye, and made a bold counteroffer. Mr. Sterling, you are wealthy, and I am a broke mechanic despite years of breaking my back. Tell me your secret. Teach me how you became rich, and I will rebuild this engine all night for free. The noisy garage fell silent. No one bargained with a man like Sterling, but a slow smile crossed the older man's face. He agreed. Arthur worked through the night. His back ached and fumes pounded his head, but when the sun rose over Detroit, the engine roared to life, flawless. True to his word, Sterling sat on an overturned crate and studied Arthur's exhausted but eager face. I found the road to wealth, Sterling said quietly, when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep. Silence followed. That was enough? Arthur asked. Sterling narrowed his eyes. It turned a poor street kid into a tycoon. Tell me, don't you pay the grocer, the landlord, the cobbler? What do you have from last year's earnings? Nothing. You pay everyone but yourself. You work for others. He tapped a silver dollar on the bench. Every dollar you save is a worker hired to work for you. Every cent it earns is its child, also working for you. Wealth grows from a tiny seed. The first dollar you keep is that seed. He gave Arthur 3 rules. First, keep at least 1/10 of everything you earn. Second, put that money to work. Third, live below your means with the remaining 9/10. The next week, Arthur set aside $1 out of every 10 in an old coffee tin. Strangely, he managed fine on the remaining 9. He barely noticed the difference. But inside that tin, his future had begun. Months later, he made a foolish mistake. Hoping for quick profit, he gave his savings to a diner cook who claimed to have a foolproof tip on imported car parts. The money vanished in a scam. When Sterling returned a year later, he shook his head. "Every fool must learn," he sighed. "Why trust a cook about international auto parts? Would you ask a baker to fix a transmission? Anyone who takes financial advice from those who don't understand money will pay with their savings." Arthur started over, wiser. He saved faithfully. Eventually, he invested with a seasoned hardware store owner who bought lumber wholesale. The returns were modest but steady. Excited, Arthur spent his profits on a new radio and steak dinners for friends. Sterling laughed heavily. "You are eating the children of your savings. How can they work for you if you consume them? First, build an army of golden workers. Let them multiply before you harvest." That lesson rooted deep in Arthur's soul. From then on, he saved consistently, invested with knowledgeable professionals, and never touched the compounding returns. Slowly, the mechanic with empty pockets became the owner of a thriving chain of auto shops, building a quiet, unshakable empire. My friend, this is not merely a story from another era. It is your story. The principle that built empires generations ago works the same today. Your salary or city does not matter. The law remains unchanged. Pay yourself first. Before subscriptions, before takeout, save at least 1/10. Make it automatic and non-negotiable. Let your money work for you. Seek counsel only from those with real results, not empty theories. And protect what you build. A small, steady return is worth far more than promises of overnight riches. With your next paycheck, before paying a single bill, set aside 10%. Do it consistently, and you will feel a profound sense of control. The quiet peace of building your future. You do not need luck or a lottery win. You need discipline, wisdom, and time. Plant your seed today, water it faithfully, and soon you will rest in the shade of your own abundance.